Welcome to June's information session. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Charlotte in sunny Sydney. It's lovely that you've joined us in your lunch break. So while people get settled with a cup of tea or a coffee, how about you write in the chat where you're tuning in from? So I'm Charlotte, I'm from Sydney. The chat box is just down below. So just type in there where you're from, where you're tuning in from. Don't be shy. We'll be using the chat box quite a bit. So yeah, just type in where you're tuning in from. We've got Melbourne. Thanks, Tegan. Any Sydney-siders? We've got Wellington. Nice. Bundaberg. Great. The Gold Coast. Oh, I'm jealous. Beautiful. We have people from all around Australia here. Great. Nice here, Brisbane. So we do have people from all around. Great. All right, so let's make a start, guys. My name's Charlotte. I'm from the International School of Colour and Design. I'm part of the team here, and we have a couple of special guests that will be joining us. The first is Annika, who's one of the educators here at ISCD. Hi, Annika.
Hi, Charlotte. How are you? Welcome, everyone.
Thank you. And we've got Lee, who's part of the ISCD team. Hi, Lee.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for sharing your lunch breaks with us. I'm going to be joining you on the live chat today. So taking all of your fantastic questions and collecting them and giving them to Charlotte and Annika and yeah, even myself at the end of the session. I'll go through the housekeeping, Charlotte.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Cool. Okay. So all we really need from you guys, if you'd like to put any questions into the live chat, firstly, just making sure that you're putting them into where it says chat and not Q&A. So at the bottom of the chat box, it says, who can see your messages? Where it says to, please toggle it to say everyone. We don't want you to send your messages to hosts and panelists. That means that not everyone in the chat will be able to see your questions. So please put it to everyone when you write your questions. And we welcome all questions, small and large. And yeah, we hope you have a great time today. We'll get them all answered within the session. Yeah, thanks for joining us so much. Okay, I'll catch you guys on the live chat. Thank
Great.
you.
Thanks so much, Lee. We'll see you at the end. And thank you, Annika. We'll see you really soon. All right, in the spirit of reconciliation, ISCD acknowledges the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea, and community. We pay our respects to their elders, past and present, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. In today's session, I will give you a brief overview of ISCD, including our industry connections and educators. Then I will deep dive into the courses that we offer. After that, I will talk about the software that we teach in the course. Then I'll invite Annika to present today's topic on portfolios, which she teaches in the subject property restoration. She will go through why a portfolio is important, the design and layout, how to find work in the industry, and presentation skills. We will then show some examples of student portfolios and talk about each one. Then we'll have our Q&A. So during the presentation, feel free to pop in your questions in the live chat, and as Lee said, we'll collect it at the end and do a Q&A. So since opening our doors in 1983, we have helped over 5,700 alumni to realise their creative potential and become part of this growing industry. Because here at ISCD, we are dedicated to delivering quality training and an authentic online experience to help you achieve your goals. So here are some of our industry partners, which we've collected over the 40 years we've been in business. These partnerships allow our students to step into the design world, and this may be through an online master talk, a professional industry excursion, whether that be in person or online, or a placement program. We have an internship program with Bowerbird Interiors for the diploma students based in Sydney. And once you reach the last block of your study in the diploma course, or once you've graduated, you can actually apply for this internship, which is a 4 to 6 week placement. And more information, I'll get Lee to pop that in the chat. So let's look at our courses. Our curriculum includes 2 nationally accredited courses, the Diploma of Interior Design and the Certificate in Interior Decoration, as well as our micro credentials. These are all 100% online. These courses have been designed and developed with our creative technology collaborators, AIT, so you can be confident you'll complete the most relevant interior design course in Australia today. We offer highly specialized courses in interior design that are relevant to the industry and make you job ready. And by the way, there's no experience necessary. You can be a bare beginner coming from a very different background, such as accounting or business. So the Diploma of Interior Design is the most popular course that we offer. You can start this course any Monday of the year. You have 18 months to complete the course. It is self-paced, but we have study blocks and subjects that are scheduled. So in the 12 to 15 hours, you can study in the morning and the afternoon. There are no set times to do the webinar. So you just work at your own pace. And the good thing is you don't need to travel to a campus. You can, work around your study and your work and family commitments. The price is $15,800, which includes the software of the course, and the payment options you can pay upfront per study block or month on month, easy debit. We also offer vocational student loan, which is similar to fee help, so you can pay for the course after you graduate. And the minimum age is 17 years old. And the only thing that we require is a design ethos statement, which is a 300-word description of your passion for interior design and what your favorite style is. And you'll see on the application form, there's prompts for you to help you out. Just by the way, if you're applying through the VSL loan, we just need some academic proof, such as Year 12 or Cert 4, and some photo ID. So here's a visual representation of how the blocks work in the diploma course. So altogether, you're looking at 18 months, and there are 4 study blocks with 2 subjects in each study block. One subject takes 9 weeks to complete, and there are 3 assessments in each of these subjects. And you'll have little tasks and activities to do throughout as well, just to consolidate your knowledge. And it goes incrementally. So you have one subject taught by one educator, then you move on to the next subject. And between each block, there is a 2-week break as well. So it just means that you can take a breather, finish off any assessments that you might be lagging behind, and just take a break there. And one thing I'll notice is those 2 subjects at the beginning, you can actually take them as a micro credential, which means a standalone course. So say if you're not sure if this is the right step for you, say you want to do this as a hobby, you might want to just do the first subject, which is called design and color, and that'll go through color themes and psychology and all there is to know about color in interior and exterior spaces. And you'll get a certificate. It's a fully accredited course. The design and color the design practice can also be taken as a micro credential. It's for those who've got a bit more experience in interior design, but they want to learn more about the industry. So setting up a business, learning about ethics, compliance, and about marketing and branding. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that a bit later on. So in terms of the job outcomes for the diploma course, a lot of our graduates have started their own businesses, such as Annika, who will be talking very soon. So we've got Chantel Traficante, who's one of our students, and she's got her own label called Benikesh Designs. And Cara, who appeared on the blog, who did our Cert 4, she's now got her own business with her partner, Kyle. So it's called Kyle and Cara, if you want to check it out. Other people are working in related fields that they enjoy. They might work for a builder, a supplier, a real estate firm. You can watch previous videos on our YouTube channel of previous graduates that we've invited on. We've had people who've worked in visual merchandising or for a sole business. A few of the job outcomes you can see on the screen there: interior designer, interior decorator, a real estate stylist or residential stylist, And you can actually focus on a more of a niche topic of soft furnishing consultancy and color consultancy as well, for example, working at Dulux. Now on to our Cert 4 course. Now this is half the duration of the diploma course. It's 9 months long. And again, you can start any Monday of the year. The price is $7,900. And again, it's self-paced. So there's 12 to 15 hours of study commitment we recommend. There are tutorials, there are pre-recorded video recordings, and it's not live. You can just basically work in your own time. You can pay in a variety of different ways, so full fee upfront or through a study block payments, and also month-to-month easy debit. So again, in terms of entry requirements, we just require a 300-word design ethos statement, which clearly describes your passion for interior design. As you can see here, it's half the duration of the diploma course. So it's 2 study blocks of 18 weeks each. So there are 2 subjects per study block, and it's 9 months long, as I said. And there are 3 assessments per subject. Okay, so once you get to week 3, you do an assessment, week 6 and week 9. And the micro-credentials are still there, so the first 2 subjects can be taken as a standalone. And if you decide you really like it, you can move into the Cert 4, get a credit transfer, or you can move into the diploma. Now, with the Cert 4, the career outcomes are here. You can be an interior decorator or stylist working in residential or real estate, also soft furnishing or color consulting. Now, a little bit more information about the micro-credentials. So as I mentioned, they are accredited. And you can start off with a micro-credential if you're not too sure if you want to commit to a full course. I've had a lot of interest lately of people just want to dip their toe in a little bit to see if it's the right choice for them. A lot of people are a little bit hesitant to try the technology. They might be getting into study after years of not studying. So it's a good way to step into it slowly. So it is fully accredited, as I say, so we can give you a full credit. If you want to move into the Cert 4, the diploma, that's not a problem. We can give you credit for that. And each micro-credential is $1,990, which is a one upfront payment. And even though the software is not included, you can get Adobe Creative Cloud subscription for about 2 months to cover what you need to use in the course. So in these 2 micro-credentials, you'll be using InDesign and Photoshop. Now, onto our software. So since August 2023, we've developed a little bit more software into the course, so it has a lot more tech focus. So in the Cert 4 course, if you're interested in that, we teach you Adobe Creative Cloud, InDesign and Photoshop, and also SketchUp and Programmer. So InDesign and Photoshop is great for mood boards and presentations. SketchUp is your 3D rendering software, and Programmer is like a project management tool where you can put in specs and quotes and really do really good scheduling. It's really great for your clientele. The diploma course includes that software plus V-Ray for SketchUp, which adds some lovely lighting effects, and also AutoCAD, which we teach you how to create floor plans. So when you go to an open inspection, you see the contract, you can see the floor plan there. That's what we would teach you to do. And it's actually really good, worthwhile to think about this as like your toolkit. So learning this software is actually going to really help you as a designer. In the Cert 4, you're looking at about 1.2K worth of software there. So that's all included in the course. And in the diploma, it's about 1.7K worth of software included in the price. So it's really worth it. Now, here are our educators. We've got Gabby, who's the education manager of ISCD with about 20 years experience, Michael, Annika, and Christina. And these are all talented and dedicated educators. They actually have their own businesses, as you can see here. You can check them out on Instagram. They're active professionals, as you can see, and they have a deep passion for design, a wealth of first-hand experience, and the willingness to share and impart their knowledge. Their goals as your educators is to create an engaging and enriching study experience and give you all the tools necessary for you to succeed out in the design industry. They're there to support you throughout your student journey through discussion boards and assessment forums, and you can reach out to them directly via video call, email, or a regular call. So I'd like to now introduce Annika. Annika is one of our educators, and I'm going to, before leading her on, I'm just going to read her bio to introduce her. So Annika's journey started as a jeweler. From there, she delved into the world of hairdressing and ran 2 successful businesses. Whilst juggling family and motherhood, all this other work, she started renovating, and then she discovered her passion for interior design. Upon completion of her degree, she focused her attention on the interior design world, and she began consulting with her own clients and working with other established interior designers. And she since has worked on high-end projects, showcased in editorials, and she's continued to grow her personal business. And she's very proud to be teaching at ISCD in the online space, as she gets the privilege of sharing her knowledge and really seeing her students flourish. So come on, Annika, come on back.
Hi, Charlotte.
Hey,
Thank you
thanks
for
so
those
much.
lovely words.
My pleasure. All right, I'll leave it up to you to talk about the next topic.
Excellent. Thank you. So today we're going to discuss a little bit about portfolios, which is our subject 6. So in modules 6, 7, and 8, down the pointy end of the course. So from here you would have established quite a few software skills. So what is a design portfolio? Well, it's a collection of a designer's, all their works, showcasing their skills, creativity, and expertise in various areas and disciplines. It's a visual representation, so it's a great tool to use moving forward after the course and into the industry. So it's a really good opportunity to get some feedback as well from your educator in doing it in a subject and as an assessment. They're a great tool for designers to market themselves as well. So effectively being able to, secure job opportunities, some freelance opportunities with other interior designers, collaborations with architects and builders, and just overall demonstrating your capabilities. So some of the important elements that are important to think about when, developing your portfolio. So obviously you're going to be popping in your examples of work. So they need to be completed examples of work, showcasing maybe, for example, if you're going for a residential design position, then I would probably showcase a whole full package. So that would include your conceptual design, your design development, your drawing packages, and your concept and mood boards. Then maybe a styling project and a decorative project. That's just an example. It's really important also to ensure that you have high quality images and renderings, photographs and sketches. So always ensure that they're not any, sort of blurry images. Great idea is to have a little brief narrative discussing each project as well, not a full essay or anything. You still want to engage the reader. So, the explanations in the little narrative might highlight the design concept, the objectives, the challenges you faced and solutions provided. Also, you might want to highlight your specific skills in software or any other unique approaches you have, any other strengths. Now, the layout and presentation obviously needs to be professional, so a well designed and visually appealing layout. It needs to be organised, and it needs to have excellent typography, spacing, colour schemes, and overall aesthetics. So I always say to make sure you've got your branding throughout so you're recognisable and they don't forget you. Think about how you're going to stand out. You have the opportunity to also implement your resume into here as well. So it's one document rather than sending through 2 different documents. And think about, leaving some white space, making the heroes shine on each page. And the various formats that, a portfolio can come in is obviously your PDF version, which is again, something you would send out to potential employers. In saying that, if you've got renderings in there, I would think about compressing that file because it can be quite glitchy and take a while to upload when the reader is, having a, browse through it. You could potentially do a little creative website or interactive presentations like a flip book, or you could do a little recording over it discussing your portfolio. So that sort of covers the portfolio and how to design one. Another topic we talk about is how to find work in the industry, and this is always a big one for students and anyone wanting to start. They want to know, what is the best way to find work. So once finishing the course, if you feel confident enough to, start your own business, then I would encourage you to reach out to builders and architects. That could be sending you, again, your portfolio through with a little video. And this is a great way of, maybe gaining some, they might be able to pass some clients on to you, and that way you can get the ball rolling. The other way I always tell my students is to just verbally say what you have studied, where you want to go. So, hey, I'm an interior designer, or I'm a graduate. I'm looking for work. So you might be out for dinner, you've met new friends, or you might be out somewhere else. So always state, believe me, I go to the hairdressers and someone sitting next to me will say, oh, you're an interior designer, I need this done, or I know someone. So there's always, work to be out, sort of, as long as you voice it, it does come your way. Becoming an assistant is a great way to learn on the job. It's very practical. So you're honing in on your skills directly and very quickly. So it could be just with you're working in tandem with another interior designer, or it could be that you're working in a small studio assisting them, creating mood boards and, doing some InDesign work, doing their scheduling and things like that. So that's a great way to learn. That's how I first started, and I worked on many big projects. So it was quite exciting. And if you're wanting to build more confidence, if you're feeling like you don't want to sort of start your own business or, be an assistant yet, you're not confident enough with your skills or communication skills, then I would look at working for a supplier. This is where you're going to meet interior designers, builders, architects, and, gain those connections within the industry. So, I'm talking about like, you could get a job at a fabric house, tile place, flooring, paint supplier. There's so many that you can, look to get some work in, build up your confidence, and then look to, which pathway you want to take. There's always, again, industry events that you can go to. And if you're feeling not confident to go to those, take a friend with you. They're always happy to have a glass of champagne and some hors d'oeuvres and look at some great furniture. So I've had a couple of my girlfriends come along and they quite enjoy it all the time. So yeah, those things are, I think I've covered pretty much everything.
You have. Thank you so much. That was really insightful. This is recorded, by the way, everyone. So if you wanted to refresh, thanks so much, Annika.
No.
Beautiful. So what I want to do now is to show some examples of ISCD student portfolios. First of all, Gemma Cromie, who's created a beautiful video presentation of her portfolio. First of all, she will be introducing herself using her resume, and then she'll be showcasing 4 projects that she has worked on. Gemma now works for a faux flowers company, Et Hem, in London. And I'll get Lee to pop in her LinkedIn profile if you just want to have a little squeeze. So I'm just going to make sure the sound is also shared and just play this beautiful portfolio to you.
Thanks for joining me here today. I'm going to show you through my portfolio and resume so that you can get a sense for my abilities and style. So this is the cover page of my portfolio. And then moving to the next page. So these are the 4 projects that I've included in my portfolio, and I'll take you through each one individually. And then the pictures to the left, these are just personal sort of inspirational images that serve as a guide really for all of my projects, all of my designs, and they're sort of a reflection of my aesthetic and my mood for all of my projects. So here is my resume, as well as a short sort of bio about myself and my contact details. So to tell you a little bit about myself, I'm from Wellington in New Zealand, but I've moved to London a couple months ago. And I'd say that as a designer, I'm driven by a real want to make spaces that are memorable, that beautiful, functional, all while being really mindful of sustainability and the way that we treat our environment. Yeah, I've always been really passionate about interior design. And in particular, I've grown like a really recent fondness, I'd say, for furniture after I worked for Cult Design in Sydney, where I was really lucky enough to be surrounded by some of the most famous pieces of design every single day. So yeah, that was really where I really grew to appreciate furniture and lighting. And then in terms of my education, I'm currently studying towards a diploma of interior design. And I also have a Bachelor of Commerce where I majored in marketing and commercial law. And then looking at my experience, currently I'm working for Ethim London as their warehouse and customer service manager. Ethim is an e-commerce startup who sell the most beautiful faux flowers, and I'm overseeing their warehouse operations as well as assisting with creating content for the brand too. And then before this, I was working for Cult Design as a sales consultant in the showroom. And this is where I was helping designers and architects to select furniture and lighting for their projects. And then prior to this, I was an account executive at a digital marketing agency where I monitored and reported on the performance of marketing campaigns to clients. And then my technical skills, these would include Adobe InDesign and Photoshop, as well as SketchUp and AutoCAD. While I think my strongest personal skills would be time management, organization, communication, as well as attention to detail. So yeah, that's a bit about me. Now the following pages are a selection of my works that I'll take you through. So this was a project where I created a concept design for a Federation style living room. The brief was for it to be contemporary while also restoring the heritage features of the home. The images to the left, these made up part of my mood board for this project, and it was where I drew inspiration from for my choices. So this here was the final concept for this project. I think the results is really calming as well as modern to fit the brief. And then I've also included in here a 2D floor plan and a rendered floor plan as well to really help envision this concept. Moving on to the next project, this was all about creating an interior decoration concept for a client who had bought a brand new coastal home, focusing in particular on the open plan kitchen, the living and the dining space. The brief was for the concept to be low cost, sustainable, family friendly, and also to include colour. So thinking about this brief, the images to the right, these are all included in my mood board and all helped to really inspire the look and the feel of this concept. So this here is the final decorating concept for these clients. I think it's all very cohesive. It has a modern coastal feeling to it. It's family friendly, and of course it includes many sustainable materials as well to fit the brief. In the bottom right corner, this is a 2D floor plan of that the open plan kitchen, living and dining room. And then I've also included in here the lighting plan, both a hand sketch concept to the left there, and then on the right, this is the final 2D AutoCAD drawing of the lighting plan for this space. And then I've included in here just little color-coded dots so that you can see which lighting piece goes where in the plan. The next project I've included in my portfolio is my 3D modeling of the weekend cabin. And this is an overview of what you can see here on this page. And then looking at this page, to the left, this is a hand-drawn floor plan of the cabin, and then to the right is the final AutoCAD 2D floor plan that I drew. And then using this 2D floor plan, I then built my 3D model in SketchUp. So here are a few snippets of the interior of this model, which was really fun to build. And then these are some snippets of the exterior as well. Yeah, I think this was a really great learning curve, and it really grew my confidence in using SketchUp. And then the final project I've added into my portfolio, this is a photo shoot styling concept for a magazine. The brief for this concept was simply to create a master bedroom sanctuary that featured an environmentally friendly bed. So the images here on this page, these were part of my inspiration for this project. I wanted it to be really rustic, sort of earthy, bringing the viewer back to nature in hopes of creating like a really calming feeling, since the brief was for it to be a sanctuary. So I wanted it to be calming and relaxing. And then this here is the final concept. So lots of natural materials. We've got lots of linens, cotton, a jute rug, some timber, just to really help ground the space and make it feel natural, relaxing, and calming like a sanctuary. And then the environmentally friendly bed that I chose to use is the image you can see there at the bottom in the middle. This is a bed base made from cardboard. So it's 100% recyclable, which I thought was perfect for this project. And then to the right, this is the floor plan layout, including where I would position the camera angles for this photo shoot. And then lastly, here is a rendered image of how I would style the space for the photo shoot. And I think the final concept really hits the brief of being a sanctuary. I think it feels calming, it's peaceful, it's cohesive. So yeah, really hitting that brief. And that's the end of my portfolio. I hope you enjoyed it, and please reach out to me if you've got any questions. Thanks.
Okay, that was such beautiful work. And I'd love to invite Annika back, and I'd love to ask her a couple of questions about that. This was an amazing portfolio, I think. What would you say is the standout feature of it?
Definitely. I totally agree with you, Charlotte. It was a real joy to mark. So it's really beautifully curated, visually appealing. It engages the reader, but it doesn't overwhelm. So she's got a real good variation of projects, but it's not too much. So definitely quality over quantity.
Great. Thank you so much. All right, we'll take a look at a couple more. See? Sorry. Okay. All right, we'll see you soon, Annika. Just share my screen again. Thank you. All right, so the next portfolio that I'd like to showcase is from one of our students, ISCD students, Sylvia Hill. Now, she's currently studying with us still. She's just finishing up her studies. She's actually the founder and managing director of Made in the Gold Coast as well, where she's been working since 2013, which is a beach towel and bath towel company in Australia. So she believes in homes that spark curiosity and embrace a rich palette of colors and materials influenced by European aesthetics. And the following pages will showcase what she has created to send to potential companies when she's completed the course. So I'm going to ask Annika to come back to showcase a little bit more and explain each of the pages. And I'll get Lee to just pop in her LinkedIn profile if you want to have a little squiz of where she works and what she does. So tell me about this one a little bit, Annika.
Sure, Charlotte. So on this page, you can see that Sylvia has shown that she has a real clear understanding of what a mood board is, and it's all about evoking that initial feeling. And it really answers the questions from the initial client brief and making sure that you and your client are on the same page. She's demonstrated that she has definitely a sophisticated palette, and she's really brave in her choices. She also demonstrates that she is able to receive the client brief and develop it into an initial mood and concept for that space.
Fantastic. I've never created a mood board. For someone who's a complete beginner, what are the essential elements to include in the mood board?
So it is really about gathering that information about the client brief. If you don't have a client brief and you're just making a mood board or, you know, a visual board, it's all about starting with a subject. So it's about starting, you know, it could be, say, if we did, you know, Scandinavian style. Okay, so let's brainstorm what that is, and then really sort of researching and sourcing some images that represent that style.
Such beautiful work here. And what's the best software? Is this in InDesign or
Yes, so
Photoshop?
we teach InDesign, but we also, you know, we're happy for students to use Canva or PowerPoint presentations, as long as, you know, it's about, you know, where you sit and where you feel comfortable. And also, you know, as long as the standard is, you know, what we, you know, like would be on InDesign as well, then we're happy to, you know, for students to sort of use their own initiative.
Yeah, beautiful. And we'll go to the next slide here. Tell us about this one.
Okay, so from, you know, a mood board, then you would develop, you know, what we call concept boards. So this is really showcasing what's going to be in that space. So here you can see that it tells a story. So Sylvia's, you know, she's successfully created a space that is warm and inviting. And on this board, you'll see she's, you know, popped in some paint finishes, the materiality that's going to be installed, and all the furniture and soft furnishings. So you're really creating that feel for that space and what's going and potentially what it's going to look like.
And what kind of material has she used here? I can see floorboard on the second one. What's the first one? Is that the sofa?
The first one would be the sofa fabric. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And what's the third one?
The third one, I think without, I'm not too sure. Oh, no, that's probably maybe a wall finish and a cushion finish, maybe. Yeah, so it could be two different fabrics there, or the rug. Yeah, I think it's, you know, one of the rug.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Great. And did she get that picture on the left from Pinterest? Is that where you usually get your
Usually we
templates?
source, yeah, or Instagram. Yeah, yeah.
Interesting. Okay. And the last one.
So this is your hard materials board. This is a tactile board. So this is where we collect and source samples from. So whatever, you know, again, like talking about the kitchen on the right-hand side, it may be cabinetry sample, benchtop, you know, tile sample, cabinetry hardware. And these are great things to show clients. So you might pop them on a board or you might do them in the tray. I tend to like to do them in the tray because then you can sort of take them out, and clients really love to touch and feel, especially things like natural stone and stuff like that, you know, yeah.
And where do you source all these materials from? Do you just go to Linkcraft for some of the materials there, or like
No, you would source them from suppliers. So if you are putting forward or you're specifying, for example, a Polytech cabinetry finish, then you would source that sample from Polytech because you want that, yeah, that actual sample.
And if you say that you're a designer, you can just go there and say, can I just have a little offcut of that?
Yeah, and you know, you'll get sample packs as well. So, you know, you can get flooring sample packs. My office is currently inundated with samples. So I've actually had to put in more shelving. But yeah, so you do end up with quite a few samples, but you need them. And this is how you learn throughout, you know, you're constantly researching new products. And that's the exciting part because there's always so many new products out there. So just when you think you know like everything, you actually don't, there's more coming. So yeah, so every project is so different. So that's the exciting part. There's never one same project.
Yeah, and Polytech is one of our industry partners as well. So if you say that you're from ISCD, that's like a plus.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, suppliers love students because they're our future designers. So yeah.
Wow, awesome. All right, we do actually have one more, guys. This
Mhm.
one here. Tell us about this one.
Yes, so this is showcasing your 3D renders. So this is something we teach we teach students SketchUp. So they'll learn some 3D modeling, and they also learn how to do 2D drawing documentations like your floor plans, elevations. Using 3D modeling is a great tool to, again, sell your design to the client. If they're not very visual, again, it just further explains your design intent.
Especially if you're not a good drawer. I'm not a good drawer, so I can imagine they'll be like, what does she
No,
mean by that?
and yeah, it's you'd be surprised how and it's exciting for a client to see it in that kind of visual element. Sort of, I know I sometimes print out a whole project of renders. So if I've got a full design project, and I print it on nice paper, I make it sort of like a binder, and they love that. Rather than be online and look at it, they sort of sit in bed with their cup of coffee and go through it and have a really good browse. So it is, it can be, you can make things quite special for clients.
That's what I was going to ask, whether your portfolio should be a hard copy that you can flick through, or whether it's better online like this. Does that make a difference in terms of the lighting and the colors as well?
Yeah, so good question. So potentially if you're going to, like through the application process of a job, for instance, then I would be sending that through online. But then if you get through to the interview process, then it's a great idea to have a hard copy and also one on USB. So, it shows that you're interested when you go to the interview to go through your portfolio. And it is a nice visual tool to look through.
Yeah, with the hard materials, with the box as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, don't bring those.
I don't look professional, yes.
That's a trolley.
Oh, yes, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And like with SketchUp, I'm interested to know, how hard is that to learn? I mean, I know that coming as a beginner, is it quite easy and user-friendly for someone like myself to learn it?
Yeah, absolutely. SketchUp's one of the easier programs to use, definitely. I rarely have any students that really struggle with it, and we have so many videos that we ourselves have developed to show students how we actually use it. So we've really simplified everything, taken out the difficult jargon, and taken it straight down to the point and saying, this is how you do it. Just click on here, click on here, click on here, and that's all you have to do, sort of thing. So it is quite easy and it's quite fun. It's real step by step. So you're not learning, an advanced part in the beginning, where you're just learning things at a slower rate and building those skills.
Yeah, and you use this software yourself now as a designer,
I
don't you?
use SketchUp all the time. I do all my documentation packages, so I do all my floor plans, elevations, everything, and I also draw for other interior designers. So so it's a great tool to use.
Yeah, wow. So thanks so much, Annika. That was really insightful. I'm sure everyone learned a lot about portfolios and know what to do, what not to do, and some really great tips. So yeah, thanks for that.
Thank you. See you soon. See you.
Yeah, see you soon. No worries. Thank you. So we have presented quite a bit of information about portfolios, but also about the courses that we offer. So this is just testament, with all these beautiful portfolios, what you can do in the course. From a beginner to learning how to develop such beautiful work. So this is the potential you can also have. So if you wanted to learn a little bit more, just if you wanted to just have a little chat just to understand which pathway is the best for you, if you're not sure whether this is the right step, just give me a call, or you can email me. I can send you some more information. Any questions about payment methods, enrollment process, all of that, I'm happy to help. So this is my number and my email here. I'm based in Sydney, so all of you WA people, just a couple of hours behind. So we do have regular information sessions, everyone, every month, and they all have a different focus. So today we talked about portfolios. Next session, we actually will have an industry professional coming in, someone who's a practicing designer who'll be giving some really great insight. So just hop on our website there under events, or you can click on the QR code there. It's going to be an evening session, July the 17th. So that's a good one. You don't want to miss out on that one. It's always good to speak to professional designers. Now, if you're really, really keen to start straight away and you're convinced this is the right step, come to our website, iscd.edu.au, and you can just click on the apply button there. Otherwise, there's a QR code there to start off. As I mentioned, we have weekly intakes every Monday, and just give us about a week's notice just for all the administrative side of things. But yeah, we are more than welcome to have you jump on board, and we'll get everything sorted, and I'll be here every step of the way to help you out. So we're almost up to question time, so keep the questions coming. I just want to mention that we also are on many different social media platforms, so Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Pinterest. And it's really great to follow us because we'll have blog posts, student works, we'll have announcements, we'll have snippets from these info sessions as well. So you'll get updates on any events as well that come up and just be inspired. So without further ado, I'm going to get us to do question time. So I'm going to ask Lee and our lovely Annika to come on the screen. I'm just going to stop sharing and we'll take your questions now. So how did you go, Lee?
Yeah, we had quite a few nice questions come through. Thank you, everyone, for your input today. Really awesome. I'm actually going to just start with a curiosity question for Annika first, and then we'll move from there. But basically, Annika, of all of the content that you teach to your students, what's your favorite thing to take your students through? Like, what really gets you going? What do you love?
Well, I can't say, Lee, that there's actually one subject that I love teaching more over the other, but the best thing for me is to see the evolvement of the students. So when they start out, their assessments, how unsure they are, and then to see them at the pointy end and down the end of the course, and the assessments that they're producing, the work that they're producing is phenomenal. So that's exciting. So really watching their growth as they go throughout the course.
Yeah, watching that confidence, just really fostering their confidence along the way.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's cool. So we actually do have quite a lot of questions today. This one here, I kind of wasn't sure whether to direct it to Annika or to Charlotte. So guys, if one of you wants to jump in on top of the other, just say. But the question is from Tegan, and Tegan has quite a few questions for us today, which is fantastic. Tegan asks, what job placement support does ISCD offer, particularly for mature age students transitioning from different industries? Before an answer comes from either of the ladies, I just want to say a lot of people who join the course are transitioning from one industry to another. So you would be in good company. But what kind of support do we offer, guys, when it comes to this?
Well, we do have a job industry placement or work placement at Bowerbird Interiors, which is based in Sydney. So if you're based in Sydney, we can help you out. So when you're in your last block of your diploma course, you can apply for that internship. So yeah, let me know. I can send you a bit more information on that. Other than that, we've got about 20 industry partners, mainly in Sydney, Melbourne, I think a couple in Brisbane. So we do have connections and people that we know, and we can give little tips on how to gain connections. So such as Annika was mentioning about Polytech, we took students on an excursion, I think it was a year ago, 2 years ago. And so we've got that connection. You can get like student discounts of that. So that is always helpful. So it's about reaching out to the educators, which company you might like to work for, and we can give you little tips along the way. The second subject is design practice. So that will actually help you set up your own business. So if that's something you might want to do later on, that's the skill set that you'll be able to learn in the course.
Oh, thank you for that. Just excuse me for a second. I don't know what's happening.
No worries.
Just having a week off. Anyway, a couple more questions. So, Annika, if someone hasn't used any rendering or drafting apps or tools before, how slowly will they be introduced to those things throughout the course? Because that can be a little daunting for people who've never maybe studied it or taken on anything like that before. And will they feel well supported as they learn these new technologies?
Yeah, great question. So again, just to say, I studied at ISCD. I learned all the software. I've changed industry. So just to cover all that. So I was a mature age student. and now running, a successful business. So you can do it. It's not that you can't do it. As far as the software goes, you start off using the software in subject 1, and we've done that so that you gain that confidence. It is very basic skills in the beginning, and then we gradually build on that throughout the course. So rather than it being one subject full on, you have to learn it, basics and advanced, it's now we build on that throughout the course. So you're really gaining those skills and you're using it constantly throughout the course. So you don't have to go, oh, I can't remember what I did in that. So we've made sure that we've implemented into each assessment. So if you've learnt a bit of SketchUp, then that's where you will, you'll keep using that throughout the course. If you've learnt some InDesign in the beginning, then we've implemented that into every assessment that you have to touch base with those software. Because the more you use these software programs, the better off you'll be. And the best part about them is you just edit. There's an edit button. So you just go edit back and it's all good. So whatever mistakes you make, it's not a pen and you have to scrub it out. It's actually just edit and click the button and that's it. And so you go back. So it's quite easy.
That's brilliant. It sounds extremely scaffolded too, just in the way it's structured throughout the course. Yeah.
Correct.
So yeah, nothing too crazy. Like you're using what you've learned and you learn a bit more and you use what you've learned.
Yeah. So it's not too overwhelming.
Yeah.
And if you go on the, sorry, I just want to mention, Lee, if you go on the website, everyone, you'll see for each subject, the software that's listed there and what we teach you. So I'll put the link in the chat there so you can have a deep dive and look into
it. Nice. Okay. Ashwarya asked, while you were chatting, Annika, she said, what do you do with the outdated samples? I have no idea about this.
What do I do with them?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. So actually a lot of interior designers give them, I've given them to a lot of schools in the past, but since everything's like a lot is online now, that's quite difficult. But I you pretty much, you can give them back to the company or you give them to students to use for their projects. So yeah.
Nice. So we can upcycle them a bit.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Great. Tegan also is asking, what's the salary range in the interior design industry? With 15 years of experience as a graphic designer, I wonder if this career change is financially viable and if the job placement rate is high. So yeah, Tegan is coming from, quite an established career into potentially, something a bit different. What would that salary look like for her?
Am I answering this?
Yeah, I mean,
okay, sorry. So in the beginning, it's like anything, you'll be on a base salary, and then yearly as you gain your experience, obviously, sort of that enhances and improves. Again, it depends if you're working for a company or for yourself. So when you're working for yourself, it really depends how much you promote yourself, how many projects you gain. At the moment, I'm inundated, which is fantastic. And I've actually got an assistant who was a former ISCD student. So she works with me now. So there's, there's potential for growth. It's just obviously you're going to, with anything, you always, start out. And like I said, a great idea is to, start out as an assistant, someone that is, has graphic design as a background, has already got those principles and elements that they've already learnt. So they're already ahead of the time, and they've got the software skills as well. So so they could probably enhance quite quickly.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Like when you study graphic design, you're very tech heavy in there, learning all the programming. Plus then you've got all of the understanding of color psychology and, line and tone and all of that to go along with it. So you're kind of starting off on a bit ahead in a few ways.
Yeah. And I find most design salaries are the same. They're not much different without, Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And again, excuse me. Carla is asking, do you teach InDesign if we would rather do a mood board in a program other than PowerPoint? That's all I know, she says. So
Yes, we do teach
yeah.
InDesign, and we encourage, you to learn it. And, by, like I said, you can also use Canva, which is another way of doing mood boards. And, they have their own templates, so very quick and easy to use Canva as well. So, yeah, you don't always.
Yeah, awesome. I think when you were speaking before, Annika, you were mentioning that you're much more sort of interested in going with what the student finds comfortable and then having the graphic and the aesthetic represented rather than it being with a particular program. Is that right?
Absolutely. Well, look, I mean, we teach as much as we can, and then you've really got to find your own sort of space within that and your comfort zone. So I don't, I learned AutoCAD, but I do all my drawings in SketchUp because I prefer SketchUp. Some people love AutoCAD, some people love Revit. So there's all sorts of, it just really depends on yourself.
Yeah, and your preferences.
What if the client just decides that they don't like that software, they prefer you to use a different software? What would you do?
Clients don't know because they get everything in PDF.
Okay. Easy. Okay,
they don't need to know.
They don't need to know. And they're happy with as long as they see results, great results. They really don't care how you got
easy.
Very good. Yeah. They're like, this looks amazing. It doesn't matter how it got there, just that it looks amazing. Tegan is asking, this one's a good one for you, Charlotte. Many institutions offer interior design courses. What makes our program stand out from others?
Well, thank you very much, Tegan. One thing to note is that as with Annika, she has her own interior design business, and that's important because she knows all the up-to-date knowledge and she's in tune with what is happening in the industry. So she was just saying about the latest trends. Okay, she has to also up level, so she's going to pass that knowledge on to her students. We've been around for 40 years. We've got about 20 industry partners. But another thing is that we offer specialized courses. So some courses, like say a university, has a more theory base, and also we're more practical, and it's more of a vocational course. It makes you job ready. Not every institute might have an internship or so many connections. So it's ultimately up to you, but that's how we kind of stand out some of the ways. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you, Charlotte. Lara is asking, this is a good one for you, Annika. How much do we cover of the different design styles? Like, for example, Art Deco, farmhouse, modern, etc. Do we learn about the different styles or just the styles that we are interested in?
No, we learn all about different styles. So in design practices, we learn about all the different styles, and we learn about design history, and then moving towards property restoration, which is in subject 6. Then you choose a restoration project out of an Art Deco, Federation, or a 1960s beach shack. So yeah, it really evolves, and you do learn a lot about the design history.
Awesome. Gavin is asking, I'm not sure like how we could help Gavin with this one, but let's just see. So Gavin's asking, how should we get started the business of renovation and as an interior designer? So I guess what subjects would Gavin do that would be helpful for helping him to understand how to start that business out? Like, what would he be studying with us that would help him to make those first steps?
So wanting to be a renovator, is that right? Or wanting to renovate his current house? Or
it says started the business of renovation, and as an interior designer. Gavin, do you mean that you want to be a renovator or you want to be an interior designer? Can you pop that in the chat? And you're starting your renovation with your house, which is not quite clear there on what it was. Gavin, you want to be an interior designer? Yeah, okay.
Okay, well
so
then,
starting an interior design business, yeah.
Okay, then I would definitely do the diploma of interior design. Yep.
There you go. Strong recommend. Strong recommend there. You need the diploma.
Yeah, there's not much. Sorry, I didn't. Couldn't sugarcoat that. If you're going to be a designer, you need qualifications.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
Just to let you know, Gavin, actually, the latter half of the diploma, that's where you'll be getting into the more technical side of things like renovation and restoration. So the first half you'll notice is more like interior decoration styling, which is like your foundation and quite essential. And then the latter half, that's where you get to the nitty gritty, the technical things like AutoCAD with floor plans. So yeah, so you'll get the full spread.
That will set you up for a business. Yeah.
Excellent. One final question that we have, and we are right on 1:30, so we're well in time. Perfect. For Annika from Lara, could you move into kitchen and or bathroom design after the course, or would you need to do extra specialty courses?
No, you don't have to do any extra specialty courses. It's really just honing on those skills. Being an interior designer, there's so many pathways. That's the most exciting part about it, and that's the most fun part about it, I find, is that there's so many avenues you can take. So you can be a stylist, you can be a decorator, you know, you can design full packages, or you can just do kitchen and bathroom designs. You can design children's bedrooms. I can go on and on. So it's really just like if you're doing kitchen and bathroom design, you would definitely hone in on your joinery design, and looking again like sourcing your materials and things like that, and spatial design. So this is everything we teach. It's just really what path you want to take, and what, you know, and you find out throughout the course, you know, everyone starts, I don't know what I want to do, I'm not sure. And one of the activities in subject 2 is what I teach is you start to develop your identity. And it's a really good little activity and exercise, and everybody loves to do it. So, and you're not meant to know what you want to do. This is all about just gaining skills, and, you know, and then developing them. And then towards the end, you really start knowing what you like to do. Oh, I love spatial planning. I love hard finishes. I love soft furnishings. I love styling. So.
Awesome. Oh, we've got a couple more questions there. I think Charlotte's answered one of them. Is that right? Tanya asked, Tanya Smith was asking, is the focus solely on residential, or does the course also look at commercial or community buildings? And Charlotte answered with, we teach commercial interiors in subject 7. Alison Hirsch, last question here. How much coverage of drafting is there in the course?
Yep, so we teach everything from spatial planning, or your floor plans, elevations, and in most of the assessments you have to develop your floor plans, your elevations, and towards the end you start adding in your sections and details again, progressing in those drawing packages, and then you also have your renders. So you end up with, at the end, a full drawing documentation package.
Excellent. Yeah. So it's very comprehensive what you learn.
It is. And again, you know, building on those blocks.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I believe we are slightly over time. Charlotte, can I pass back to you?
Yes. So thank you very much, Annika, for joining us today. That was really insightful, learning about portfolios. And thanks, Lee, for being a whiz at the live chat. So it was lovely to have you all. I hope you learned a lot. If you have any further questions or need further information, just give us a shout to the website or my number or email. And hopefully see you next month for our industry professional coming in. So have a wonderful rest of the day, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Charlotte. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.